Hello, hello, and this video today is going to be on median. You might be asking yourself, what is the median and how do we find the median? Well, that's what this video is for. If you take a look at the very first screen, you see at the very top it says definition. The median is the middle of a sorted list of numbers. So the median is the number in the middle once all the numbers are listed, from least to greatest or greatest to least. Now, how we find the median, it requires a three-step process. First, we're going to take the elements that we have from the data set and order them from least to greatest. Once we have them ordered from least to greatest, we're going to move on to step 2. And that is to count how many numbers are in the set of data. Once we have that, we have to determine if there's an even number of elements or if there's not. Because if there's an odd number, then actually step number 3 is going to be pretty easy, and that is just find the number in the middle. However, if there's an even number, it's going to be a little bit more challenging to do step 3, because what you do is you find the two numbers in the middle, and then take those two numbers and find the mean of those two numbers. So, to reiterate, the median is the number in the middle once everything is ordered from least to greatest. And how we find the median is by first taking the set of data, listing in order from least to greatest, counting to see how many elements are in the set of data, and then if there's an odd, just find the number in the middle, or if there's an even number of numbers, find the two numbers in the middle and find the meaning of those two numbers. Alright, so we are going to go over a couple of examples, and the first example we're going to take a look at is this one right here. We have a set 7, 8, 5, 6, 4, 10, and 9. And what we're going to do is take a look at this set and order these numbers that are in the set. So looking through the set, we see 4 is the smallest, then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So the reordered list is going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, listed from least to greatest. Now, once we have at least to greatest, we're going to go ahead and count to see how many elements are in the set of data so we can determine what our step 3 should be. So we're going to take our data set and start counting. We see the first number is 4, so that's 1. 5 is the second number. 6 is the third. 7 is the fourth. 8 is the fifth number. 9 is the sixth. And 10 is the seventh. So that means we have an odd number of numbers since there's 7 numbers in our data set. And because there's an odd number of numbers, it means our step 3 is going to be much easier. And our step 3 is going to be find the number in the middle. So we're going to take our ordered list, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we're going to start scratching out one number from the left all the way to the left, and one number all the way to the right until we get to the middle. So the first two numbers we're going to scratch out is 4 and 10, since 4 is the smallest and 10 is the largest. Then we're going to scratch out 5 and 9 because they're the second smallest and second biggest. And then 6 and 8 because of the third biggest and the third smallest. And that's going to leave us just our last number, which is right in the middle, and that number is 7. So this means our median is 7. Right, to reiterate what we did, we first ordered the list of data. So we took our data set and ordered it in the form 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. After that, we counted up the number of numbers, and we saw that there were 7 numbers in the set, which means that there are an odd number of numbers. And after that, we kept on crossing out, one all the way to the left and one all the way to the right, until we worked ourselves to the middle of that set of data, which ended up being 7. So our median was 7. Now, this was a great example of what to do when we have an odd number of numbers in our data set. So now what we're going to take a look at is this one right here, which is going to have an even number of numbers in our data set. Again, step number 1 is going to be the same. We're going to take our data set and order them from least to greatest. So 4, 5, 6, 10, 10, 11 is the reordering of the set from least to greatest. Our step 2 is going to be exactly the same as our previous step 2. We're going to count how many numbers are in the data set to determine if there's an odd number or an even number. In this case, we're going to go ahead and start counting with 4. 4 is the first number, 5 is the second number, 6 is the third, 10 is the fourth, the other 10 is the fifth, and the sixth number is 11. So 6 is a number of numbers in our data set, which means there's an even number of elements. Since there's an even number, that means our step 3 is going to be a little bit different. We're going to find the two numbers in the middle and then find the mean of those two numbers. Now, how we figure out those two numbers in the middle is exactly the same as before. We're going to take the data set, the one that's ordered from least to greatest, and we're going to cross out one all the way to the left, one all the way to the right until we find the numbers in the middle. So the first numbers we're going to scratch out is 4 and 11, because 4 is the smallest number and 11 is the biggest. Then we're going to cross out 5 and 10, because 5 is the second smallest, 10 is the second largest. And once we do that, we see that we only have two numbers left in the middle, and that's 6 and 10. So with those numbers now, we're going to add them up and divide by 2, because remember, we're going to find the mean of those two numbers. It's always going to take the 2, add them up, and divide by 2. So 6 plus 10 divided by 2. And we know 6 plus 10 is 16. And then 16 divided by 2 is going to be 8. And that right there is going to be our median. So our median is 8. Alright, so this right here is an example of what to do when we have an even number. Again, number 1, order them from least to greatest. 2, count the number of numbers in the set of data and determine if it's even or odd. In this case, we had 6 numbers, so it was even. The third step is find the two numbers in the middle, and how we did that was just like before. We crossed out one all the way to the left and one all the way to the right until we found our two middle numbers. Then we find the average of those two numbers by adding them together and then dividing by 2. In other words, 6 plus 10 all divided by 2. And that's how we ended up with our median of 8. Alright, so if you want to re-review, please go ahead and feel free to rewind back and watch the start of the video all the way to here. But I do have 2 practice problems right onto the screen that I want you to try out to make sure you've mastered this. Now, what I want you to do is go ahead and, on a separate piece of paper, try these 2 problems out. Make sure you write out all your work and come up with your answers. And while you're working on this problem, I want you to pause this video. Once you are done with your work and come up with your answers, unpause the video where we will then go over the problems together. So go ahead and pause the video now. Alright, welcome back. So, if we take a look at these 2 problems, I'm going to pop up my work on the screen. First, I ordered the first set, and the set came out in order from least to greatest as such: 1, 2, 4, 4, 4, 6. Once there, I started scratching out from least to greatest, so I scratched out 1 and 6, then I scratched out 2 and 4, and I ended up with 2 numbers in the middle because there was an even number of numbers. There's a total 6. So what I'm going to do is take those 2 4s, add them up, and then divide by 2. So 4 plus 4 is 8, and then 8 divided by 2 is 4. So my median for number 1 was 4. For problem number 2, again, I'm going to take that set of numbers and order them from least to greatest. So I end up with 7, 8, 11, 15, and 16. From there, I scratch out one all the way to the left and one all the way to the right until I end up with the middle number. So first, I scratched out 7 and 16 because 7 was the smallest, 16 was the largest. Then 8 and 15 because 8 was the second smallest and 15 was the second largest. And I ended up with just one number in the middle, 11. So 11 is my median. Alright, so hopefully you did well and have a great day. I'll see you guys next time.